Hello people, how are you? So today we'll go on with the content of the book, okay? So your next lesson on Thursday will be live with Giovanna, okay, with a student-student activity that refers to this lesson, lesson 5, okay? So, new content: an oyster, a prawn, a shrimp, a mussel, a squid, a scallop, a pond, a coastline, a fishing line, a net, a yacht, seafood, two fish, a tentacle, a day trip, bait, an excursion, a network, a hook, a fishing rod. Okay, people, so the words oyster, prawn, shrimp, mussel, squid, and scallop, the 6 first words, they are all examples of seafood. They are animals, okay, that we eat from the sea. Okay, an oyster is normally served cold. Okay, it comes in a shell and it's very soft inside. Okay, they are served cold and they should be very fresh, otherwise they do very bad for your stomach. Okay, prawn and shrimp are different names for the same animal. A prawn is normally bigger, a shrimp is normally smaller. Okay, they are very common at the beach. When we go to those little bars that are on the shore, okay, in Ubatuba for example, they always have portions of shrimps. Okay, they are kind of pink, light pink, okay, and they can be served fried or in some kind of dish. A mussel, guys, also comes in a shell. Okay, it's a black shell. It's very common in Spanish recipe that has many types of seafood, many different types of seafood. A squid is an animal that has 8 tentacles. Okay, they are very common here in Brazil too. They cut the tentacles, they look like little rings when we eat, okay? And they look white after cooked, okay? A scallop is not very common in Brazil. Actually, here in Brazil, they are very expensive. They are also a type of seafood. They are round and more or less this high, okay? This size, more or less, and this high, okay? A pond is a small lake. Okay, normally made by man. A coastline is the line that divides the land and the sea. It's called the coastline. A fishing line is a very strong line that is used for fishing, to take fish from the ocean or from a pond or from a lake, from a river, okay? Fishing line, we use to fish. A net is something that is, well, it's a line, okay, all made like this, okay, and normally fishermen, they use it to fish big quantities of animals at the same time, okay, they use a net. A yacht is a very expensive boat, okay. Seafood is the food that comes from the sea, that I explained to you before. To fish is when you go to the sea with a rod, fishing rod is the stick that we use to fish with the line, okay? So a tentacle is very similar to Portuguese. For example, an octopus has 8 tentacles, a squid also. A day trip is a trip that lasts one day. Okay, when you go and come back at the same day. Bait is what we put at the end of the fishing line to attract fish. Okay, here in Brazil it's very common to use worms as baits. Excursion is just like Portuguese. A network is all the people you know, okay? It's your network. People you know, people that can sometimes help you. It's your network, all the people you know around you. Normally, we use this word, as you can see, related to work, okay? A hook is something that has this shape, okay? We put this at the end of a fishing line to get the fish. And a fishing rod is the stick that we put the line and the hook on to fish, okay? So guys, if you have any doubts, let me know. I'll send you pictures of these animals if you want, okay? But except for the scallop, they are very common here in Brazil, okay? So, let's repeat. Oysters, prawns, shrimps, mussels, squids, and scallops are all types of seafood. He bought his father-in-law a day trip to go fishing for his birthday. There are many excursions that are not included in the price of my package holiday. She needed to buy bait, a fishing rod, a fishing line or net in order to go on the excursion with her friends. The pond didn't have any mussels, shrimps or prawns because it was full of fresh water and not seawater. Scallops are a common ingredient served at fine restaurants in Europe. He recently became a millionaire after he sold his language school, so he decided to buy a yacht. Polly didn't want a pond in her garden because she didn't think it was safe for her children to be near it. Okay guys, so let's go to the let's practice part. As you know, I will read both questions and answers, okay? But I will leave 1 or 2 seconds after the question so you can repeat before I do, okay? So, is it common for seafood to be served at weddings in your country? Yes, it is common for seafood to be served at weddings in my country, especially in towns and cities near the coastline. Will you have been on various excursions by the end of your next vacation? Yes, I will have been on various excursions by the end of my next vacation. So people, the word excursion in this answer is missing the letter S, okay? It's in the plural, excursions. Why do people use bait? People use bait to attract fish to their fishing line. If you had to recommend to someone a day trip that they could go on near your city, where would you recommend? If I had to recommend to someone a day trip that they could go on near my city, I would recommend Santo Antônio do Pinhal because it's a beautiful small city, small town actually, right? And they have many nature attractions and they have good restaurants, okay? So, what is an expensive type of seafood? An expensive type of seafood is oysters. What is a mussel? A mussel is a small sea creature that has a black shell with 2 parts that close together. What could happen if you fell into a deep pond? If I fell into a deep pond, I could drown. If I fell into a deep pond, I could swim out. Okay? There are many answers here. Is squid the same as an octopus? No, a squid isn't the same as an octopus. An octopus has 8 legs, while a squid has 8 arms and 2 tentacles. Where was Caroline walking along when you saw her crying? When I saw her crying, Caroline was walking along the seashore by herself. Do some people use bait to attract animals? Yes, some people use bait to attract animals. One other example here, people, is some people put a small piece of cheese to attract mice and rats. Okay, this is also a bait. Okay? Is the pronunciation of the words muscle and muscle the same? Yes, the pronunciation of the words muscle and muscle are the same. Where in Europe is famous for its beautiful coastline? There are many places in Europe that are famous for their beautiful coastline. Some examples are Italy, Portugal, France, and England. Why is Austria not famous for having a beautiful coastline? Austria is not famous for having a beautiful coastline because Austria doesn't have a coastline. Why is the internet called the internet? The internet is called the internet because it connects different networks to other networks. How big is the biggest yacht in the world? The biggest yacht in the world is 590 feet long and it cost $600 million to build. When a person has a new business, do they need to work hard to build a network of clients? Yes, when a person has a new business, they need to work hard to build a network of clients. What color are prawns when they are cooked? Prawns are pink when they are cooked. What do fishermen use to catch oysters? Fishermen use a net or a fishing rod to catch oysters. Which social network do you use daily? The social network which I use daily is Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. They are all good examples here, okay? Have you ever been on an excursion to the coastline? Yes, I've already been on an excursion to the coastline. What was your favorite day trip that you went when you were at school? My favorite day trip I went when I was at school was at the zoo, or could be to a Ibirapuera Park, for example, or to the museum, okay? So you can choose among many different options, okay? So guys, that's it for today, okay? I will send you on the group, okay, some pictures of these animals that we have seen today, okay? And as I said at the beginning, next lesson you will have a live lesson with Giovanna, and is the student activity. If no, so you could already prepare something. It's on page 141, okay? It's the time capsule activity, okay? You are going to choose 5 different things to put on a time capsule, okay? A time capsule is something that we It's not very common in Brazil, but in the United States it's like a tradition in some schools. You know, you put some items in a box and then you bury that box, okay? To be open in, I don't know, 30 years, 40 years, 50 years, or not to be open in a specific date, but for someone to find it, okay, and find things from the past. Okay, so for example, what do you want people to know about you or about your time 50 years from now, 100 years from now, okay? It's an interesting activity, okay? So you should prepare this, okay? It's going to be a live lesson. Giovanna will send you the link. You have to download an app called Google Meet, okay? Meet like this, okay? And she will send you a code to get into the meeting, and everybody's going to be together. It's very fun, you'll enjoy it, okay? After the live, you can say what you thought about it, okay, your opinion, if you enjoyed it or not, okay, but prepare yourselves for the lesson, okay? Again, page 100, let me put it here, 141, okay? It's going to be next Thursday at your lesson time at 5:10, okay? Guys, if you have any doubts, let me know, okay? And see you on the live. I'll try to watch it too, okay? Thank you. Bye-bye.